All right, hey, we're live with episode number 8 of Hangar 18. And I just want to say, hey, I don't feel so good. Something's not right. Something's coming over me. What the fuck is this? It's Black Friday!
Good morning, Black Friday.
Exactly, so there you go. That was my shitty rendition of Black Friday there for you. On Black Friday, you're welcome. All right? Thank you. So
And
anyway,
as a special treat on this Good Morning Black Friday, we will not be discussing Megadeth.
Yeah, exactly. We definitely just led to the straight there. We're going to be pretty much their arch rival musically, I guess you could say, Metallica.
Megadeth may come up in the discussion at some point, but yeah.
They may. But just so you know, this entire Hangar 18 was Dreadwind's idea. So if it sucks, Dreadwind's fault, not mine. So anyway, as always, I'm your happy giant alien stabby face blue killing machine Thundercracker, or Dan, the normal guy, whatever you like. And also with me, as always, is my co-host Dreadwind.
I'm your other giant alien non-stabby face killing machine.
Yeah, he's kind of morose, and he's the only one, who didn't kind of, flake out on us. So far, there have been, there was a third host for a while, and then there have been 2 other people who said, hey, I really want to get on that podcast, and then, never materialized. So, yeah, there's always that. All right, so first off, we're going to do a segment, which is always we do first, is heavy metal news, and Dreadwind is a slacker and doesn't have any heavy metal.
I have something, thank you.
Slacker. So anyway, I'm going to talk about, there is a new song by a band called Once Human, and it's got the former guitar player from Soulfly and Machine Head, Logan Mader, in the band. And,
Mader?
Yeah, Logan Mader.
Okay.
What is it, Mader?
No, I don't know. I don't know how
I thought you were getting on me about pronunciation again. All right, so
no, but Mader's a cartoon character. That's why I was laughing.
Mader is how you spell it.
Oh, Mader. Okay.
Yeah, Mader. So anyway, the song is called Gravity, and I checked it out, and I'm actually really impressed with this band. Once we might have to do a couple of their songs on a future Hangar 18 because they're really, really good. First off, it's a 6-member band, which I always like those. They always just seem like a little bit more musically full, I guess. And secondly, I looked at the cover of their CD that they're going to drop, which is called Evolution, and it's got like a big giant like fucking skeleton with goats' heads and like snakes and shit. So that's always good. And their song, they're out in the middle of the desert playing, which puts me to mind of a certain other metal band that I like a whole lot, Slayer. So there's that, and their lead singer is a chick, and the chick, I would put her vocal range somewhere between Angela Gossow and Otep. So she kind of sounds almost like a little bit black metal-y, but the music is definitely not black metal. But I really liked it. My only issue with it is like when they have a chick lead singer, they tend to give her a lot of camera time, especially when she looks like this one does. And she just, I don't know if she's doing it on purpose or not, but she has these really bizarre poses that she keeps doing for the camera. I wasn't really a fan of that. It almost looks like she's doing the fucking mannequin challenge in the video. So, like, what the fuck is this? All right, so anyway, that's my piece of news. And Dreadwind, what is your piece of news?
Be on the lookout for a Slayer comic book coming out. I think it's January or sometime early next year.
January 2017.
There you go. Slayer comic.
It's got a couple of covers to it. I think one is a skeleton that's been crucified, and another is like a guy with blood all over his face.
Isn't it based off some of their like newer songs?
It is based off of stuff off of Repentless. Yes, it is.
Yeah. There you go. So there you go.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm going to own it, and I haven't been to a comic book shop in a long time. So because at one point I was spending like $100 a month on comics, which that got out of hand. So in comics.
Did you get like 5 comics out of that?
Yeah, exactly right. And most of that shit was for my wife too, because she had to like have X-Force and X-Factor and fucking Xfinity and Excalibur and every fucking Racer X and everything with a fucking X in it she had to have, and all the Batman too. Big Batman fan. So yeah,
She likes
and yeah, and
that.
comic books nowadays are like $9 for a comic book, and you get 20 pages of ads and 3 pages of art.
Yep.
So I'm not a fan of that. All right, so moving into the main segment of the show, where we review a song list, and in this case, we're going to go ahead and break with tradition of doing various bands, where we review one band and one album on one stage on one podcast with two hosts. Metallica, Hardwired to Self-Destruct is what we're going to go over this week.
A week old today. Just came out last Friday.
Yeah. I think it was November 18th, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. So, talking about Hardwired to Self-Destruct. First song is the title track, kind of, because it's just Hardwired. And
this was also the first one that they put out, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the first single they dropped. Yeah. So first off, when I looked at this, I was like, holy shit, it's 12 songs and it's an hour and 20 minutes long, double CD. And that already just like shoots up red flags for me, like immediately.
Yeah, me too.
Because double CDs, usually what that says to me is they have, 12 to 15 songs, and they could have cut that down to about 7 really good ones or 8 really good ones.
And what was a big red flag for me too was like I saw that it was a double CD with like 12 songs, and the first song was only 3 minutes long, and I'm like,
right.
Wait a minute.
All right.
Yeah.
So yes, the first song is called Hardwired, and I thought the drum opening to Hardwired was pretty good. When he went into the auctioneer singing, I did not like that. I was like, wasn't really a fan of that. And he does that a lot on this album, which I'm not really a fan of. There are singers that can pull that off. I think Tom Araya does a good job of that when he does it. James Hetfield, not so much. Anyway, another thing I noticed, I guess this song definitely sounds like it could have been plucked right off of Death Magnetic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the solo on this particular song I thought was too short. It sounded okay, the solo, but it just like, as soon as I started to get into it, it was like done and went right back into, rhythm. And I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, I think the solo was like maybe 9 to 12 seconds long. It was like super duper short. So anyway, Hardwired, title track off of Hardwired Self-Destruct. I give it a 6.0. Dreadwind.
Okay, first of all, full disclosure, I'm a big Metallica fan. Master of Puppets was the album that got me into metal, got me wanting to play guitar. Ride the Lightning was my first album.
I thought it was Crocus that got you into metal.
Huge. No. Huge Metallica fan. I have all the albums except for the one that will not be named. Even though I don't like all the albums, I even own Saint Anger.
Oh.
I actually went out and bought that one when it came out. Of course, this was before the days where you could listen to everything on YouTube beforehand. But anyway, so that aside, big Metallica fan. I went through and I listened to all these songs once, and they all have a video. And I remember when I got into Metallica, this was a band that had 4 albums and only 1 video.
Yep, 1. And literally.
They literally have a video for every single song on this album now. So very different approach this time around. And I went through and listened to all of these songs just as a precursor here. And I had to go back and listen to it twice because I found a lot of instances the video was more interesting than the song.
Fucking A.
And I actually had to, the second time I went through when I was doing my notes, I actually had to close the window and not watch the video so that I could just concentrate on the music, so I could actually write a review on the music itself.
I'm with you on that. I totally see where you're coming from.
That was a big kind of, like you said, red flag for me. This was the first single, and when I first heard it, it's got a cool intro, and then the vocals kick in. And like you said, I'm not a fan of how James has been singing recently, particularly the way he sings on this song. He just kind of screams, and it doesn't fit him very well.
Right, it's not his style, right?
Right. This song kind of feels like they're trying to play fast just for the sake of playing fast. Like, hey, let's just do a fast song. The solo I thought was rather uninspiring. which is going to be a common theme. Uh, it's basically a 3-minute gallop with James screaming on top of it. It doesn't really go anywhere. It felt forced, like they were trying too hard, and it's not. When I heard this song, it wasn't a song that made me want to go listen to more. You know, this song didn't make me go, "Oh, I can't wait to listen to the rest of that album." It was very, eh. And that was my first impression. That was my first impression of it. Of all these songs, I've heard this one more than anyone else because they play this on the radio a lot. The more I hear it, the more I don't like it. I give this one a 4.5. This is my least favorite on the album.
4.5. All right, that one did not score very good. Hey, you remember when it seemed to me like it was a weird coincidence that song number 4 on albums was always like the best song.
Yeah, and it tended to be a slower one too.
Yeah, and it was like we always called it. Me and a buddy of mine, we used to call it the clean up batter song because it was like they throw 3 intros out and they whip the 4 song, was always pretty good. Anyway, that was like way out of fucking left field.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next song is called Atlas Rise. And this one, like Dreadwind was saying, they have a video for every one of these. And in this particular video, they're showing like their studio takes for this. And I thought the studio is pretty neat. They have like a whole shitload of Metallica banners hanging up everywhere. Yeah. And one thing that I noticed that in James's little vocal booth, he has the same Metallica lamp that I have in my bedroom, where it's the skull with the snake wrapped around it. I got that exact same lamp. Therefore, James wants to be like me. That's what I took from that.
Yep.
All right, so the breakdown reminded me a bit of Iron Maiden in the song, like when they slowed it down and did the guitar part.
Oh, the harmony.
Yeah, I thought that sounded a little bit like Iron Maiden to me. Mm-hmm. And I think this song itself is a reference to Ayn Rand. And it seems like they're talking about, hey, you know, if you want to be an individualist and want to have individual responsibility, you know, it's going to be harder than you might think. Is kind of what I got from the lyrics of the song. So I think that's what it's talking about with Atlas Rise, because, you know, Atlas shrugs and you have to stand up afterwards, I guess. Mm. So the second solo, that was a little bit Klingon for you there. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I thought you were messing with something else back there.
I had a fucking stroke or something, right? All right, so second solo was pretty good, I thought. I mean, like, I wouldn't give it a Randy Rhoads-esque type review, but I thought it was okay. But here's the thing, and this is going to be a common theme too. The song was a little long. I think they could have made this song 4 minutes long and it would have been A-okay. But instead, they just seemed like they just stretched it out for fucking 7 minutes. And they did that with a lot of these songs, but I wasn't a big fan of that. Anyway, this particular song, I thought it was, you know, a mediocre type song, so I gave it a 6.0 again.
Yeah, a common theme in this is it has a really cool intro, and that's another common theme. A lot of these songs have good intros to them. But then the rest of the song comes in.
Right.
You know, it's like they kind of have good ideas, and the ideas are good, and there's some good stuff and riffs and stuff in there, but then it gets lost in the rest of the song, I guess is the best way to put it. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
And who the fuck was that like douchebag with the glasses on that kept like...
That is their producer. I was going to mention that. Yeah, actually their producer, I had to look up to see who he was. His name is Greg Fiedelman. He's their producer for this album, and I was trying to look up his credits to see what he's done before, and he doesn't have really any major credits. As he's got a ton of credits as like an engineer and a mixer, but his only big production credits as a producer is he did a Slipknot album and a Slayer album.
Which Slayer album did you remember?
I do not know. I do not remember.
Because, you know, he reminded me of Leonard from The Big Bang Theory.
A little bit, yeah, with the glasses.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So yeah, the intro rhythm on this one has a little bit more of a Metallica feel than the previous song. The vocals I thought were a little bit better than the previous one. The bridge part has a cool rhythm. I remember they had a part where they had a sign that says "Hammett's on fire" when he's doing the solo.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, and the solo I thought was okay. I don't know if that's what they call being on fire. It's not what I call it. He's still laying on the wah pedal there. It was okay. It wasn't a bad solo, but it wasn't anything to write home about. I like the harmony part also. It's not a bad song. I rated this one 5.5.
5.5. Damn, it's fucking 2 in a row I've rated higher than you. This is this is a divergence from the normal.
I tried to go through this and give it a fair criticism, and you know, the ones I like, the ones I don't like, I don't like. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and, you know, sugarcoat anything. I'm
with you. Yeah, I wouldn't
I'm a big I'm a big Metallica fan, but if you know, I'm trying to. All the reviews I've seen on this have been either people have said, "Oh, it's awesome, it's amazing," or it completely sucks. There's been like no in between. I was trying to avoid. I was trying to avoid that. So you're gonna hear some good ones from me, and you're gonna hear some bad ones from me.
Yeah. So yeah. See, I kind of listened to like this whole album like I had never heard of this band before. Because you know, if you compare this to Ride the Lightning or Master of Puppets, I mean, it's gonna be shit.
Yeah, you really can't. It's like pre-Black Album Metallica and then post-Black Album Metallica. It's almost like two separate bands. Yeah.
Right. So, all right. So now that we've given that giant preamble,
yeah, right.
All right. So now the next song is called "Now That We're Dead." The very first note I have about this is the intro to this one. The drums were more distracting than helpful. I thought, I was like, okay, start the song. Enough with the drums, okay? I don't know if Lars was just having an ego pump there or something. What the fuck ever. But once they got done with the drums being distracting, the initial little blast that they did, I thought was really good. Yep. Again, 7 minutes long with no need to be 7 minutes long, okay? They could have cut this down to 4 minutes and it would have been just fine. The lyrics to the song reminded me a bit of the Misfits, like right with you know, the whole dead people and like, you know, that type of jazz.
Okay.
Yeah, with like dead, you know, when you mix like hot chicks and being dead and, you know, being appreciative of being dead, always reminds me of the Misfits.
Right.
The breakdown and the solo I thought were pretty good. I have pretty good written down like 100 times in this.
Yeah.
Because like none of it's magnificent, but it's not.
I have not bad written down a lot of times.
Yeah, there you go. It's kind of the same idea, right? Because like you know, it's not magnificent, but it's not utter shit either. I mean, I'd prefer it to Nickelback, but all right. So in the guitar hook, which I thought was also pretty good, quote unquote. So and I recently realized that I say fucking awesome a lot. I'm going to say that a lot today, but you know, I just want to say that fucking awesome. Even though this wasn't, I just wanted to say that one time. Anyway, I thought this one was a little better than the other two. I give this one a 7.0.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you on this one. And the intro was kind of crunchy. This was the first of these first three songs. This was the first one that kind of felt like a Metallica song to me. You know.
Yeah.
It's got a groove to it, and this is kind of where Metallica is in their comfort zone. Is, you know, songs like this where it's got more of a groove to it. And they've always had their occasional fast, speedy songs here and there, but they kind of really shine with that, you know, Leper Messiah and, you know, For Whom the Bell Tolls, that, you know, that slower, crunchy groove. James starts to sing a little bit better in this one. I thought the chorus was kind of catchy. Kirk actually hits the whammy bar on this one. When he's doing his guitar solo, he actually pulls out the whammy bar on this.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hello, old friend. Thank you. Probably the best solo he had so far. There's a cool breakdown. It was a little long, but it didn't feel as long as the other one did. So I liked this one overall. It was one of the ones I liked better on this album. I gave this one an 8.
An 8. All right. So yeah, and you know what I noticed about this whole album is there is no crowd song on this album.
This is true.
There's nothing. Like, I mean, there's no like trying to think of it, like Creeping Death. There's no Creeping Death.
Right.
I mean, even like this version of it, but like have something where the crowd can participate or something like that. There's nothing like that. So I mean, I don't know what the crowd's gonna be doing, just standing there with fucking like blank faces for 7 minutes while they wail out this shit. So all right, all right, that was a little bit of a downer there. All right, the next song is called "Moth into Flame," and I have down in here. I said I don't know what this is called exactly, but I just called it harmonized guitars because when they did both the guitars playing basically the same thing.
Yes.
I thought that sounded pretty good when they had James and Kirk playing basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that part sounded pretty good. I noticed there was a lot of people commenting that the YouTube version of this song is slightly slower than the album version of the song. And from what I understand, the YouTube version is 168 beats per minute, and the album version is 176 beats per minute. And and to me, 8 beats per minute, I don't even understand unless you're like a practiced musician how you're going to hear that. I mean, maybe if I heard them side by side, I might be able to tell the difference. But honestly, I don't think I could be able to tell the difference unless somebody told me there was a difference.
Yeah, I'm thinking you might get a difference of maybe 5 seconds total.
Yeah, right. The whole time, right. So I don't get it. So apparently, some people say that it's it's very jarring to them when they heard the two played together. But anyway, here's the thing. I was reading the comment section of the YouTube, and people were comparing it to Disposable Heroes. No, not even fucking close. Not even the same. Not even the same ballpark. Not even in the same league. You know what? Not even the same fucking sport as Disposable Heroes. I mean, there's no comparison. Okay, I mean, it was an okay song, but it's not fucking Disposable Heroes. Let's be honest. The guitar solos were good. I thought. I would rate them like a B- or a C+. The slowdown part. And it took me a second to realize what it kept reminding me of. I had to play it 3 or 4 times, but I realized it's that Metallica cover of "It's Electric," where they do the same slowdown and do the drum part.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. And
yeah, go back and listen to it.
There's another one later on that reminds me of another Diamond Head song. But yeah.
Yes. So when they slow it down in this, it definitely is not exactly, but really close to that slowdown they do in their cover of "It's Electric." Right before he goes, "It's a be a buck and roll star, gonna groove ball." That part, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So yeah, that definitely reminded me of that. In fact, there's a lot of shit in this. There's like little glimpses of other stuff all throughout this album, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Moth into Flame, I give it a 7.0.
Okay. Once again, recurring theme, a good intro, and another recurring theme. James is yelling again. There's a cool rhythm in there that kind of, again, like I mentioned earlier, gets lost in the rest of the song. The solo came on, and surprise, Kirk's on the wah pedal again.
Is that like a slammed other guitarist that they rely on the wah pedal?
Kirk, yeah. Ever since the Black Album, Kirk's lives on the wah pedal, and it's like the wah pedal is fine. It's meant to accent here and there. It's not meant for you to live on it.
I got you. So it's like if Bob Ross is painting trees and he takes the brush and he's doing all the highlights. He does too much highlights and he loses his dark areas.
Sort of, yeah. And you can't see a tree. You can't see the tree anymore because it's just highlights. Yeah.
Gotcha. That's what I was. Yeah. Okay.
That's the first time I ever heard that.
How's that for fucking analogy?
There you go. Yeah.
That's metal as fuck. All right. Go ahead.
So yeah, the solo. A lot of these solos are they're not bad. They're just kind of forgettable to me. You know, they're not the solos that even on the Black Album, like when Enter Sandman comes on and he kicks into the solo, you can sing the solo with him. You know it. You remember it.
It's I often do that.
You know, most of these solos, it sounded like they didn't sound like they fit the song. A lot of these solos sounded like he was just sitting in a room by himself, noodling away on guitar, recording solos by himself. And then they went and recorded the songs and they said, okay, let's grab this solo and just stick it on here. And we'll grab that solo and stick it on here. And they just don't go with the song, a lot of them. And they they're forgettable. They're very forgettable. You're not going to be singing along with the solo. You're just kind of waiting for it to end so the rest of the song can come on. Again, this song felt like it was a little too long. It felt like it should have probably ended about 5 minutes in. It feels like a long filler song, and I rated this one a 5.
All right. We're just pretty much tearing this album to shreds today. All right. Okay.
I do have some good ones on here. Well, I had an 8, and I do have another one that's a good one. So
All right, I trust you. All right, so moving on to Dream No More. First, my very first note is I'm already over the overproduced videos. Like in this one, they have like those like they would show James Hetfield, and then they would show like a silhouette of James Hetfield, and there'd be like these like weird like sparkly effects inside the silhouette.
Yeah.
Then it'd be like James Hetfield, and then it'd be like a bunch of large faces making up James Hetfield. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I had to turn the video screen off so I could just listen to the music for these. Yeah.
Again, this one had a good guitar hook. They had the guitars were drop tuned on this one. I thought. At least I'm not 100% guitar guy, but I definitely thought there was some D standard tuning on this one. I thought the solo on this one was really good. And the subject matter, we could have used this on our other Cthulhu show because it was a Cthulhu song.
Yes.
It was basically, the sleeping god awakens.
Yes.
Because he kept saying Cthulhu awakens, and the whole title of the song is Dream No More. So
yes.
It's the old one coming to life. So yeah, I mean, just basic fucking boom. Fuck. All right, let me try that one more time. Back up. All right, basing it off of nothing but the Lovecraftian part of the song that I liked, and the drop tuning, which I thought was pretty good. I give it a 6.5 based on that.
Okay. All right. This one, heavy intro. It's got a groove to it. This one kind of had a sad but true feel.
Yep, definitely.
Also, not a Metallica song, but Man or Ash.
Who?
Corrosion Conformity. Conformity.
Yep.
Man or Ash.
I have another song on here that I thought was Corrosion Conformity. We'll get to later. So it kind of sounded like. Go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, the vocals I thought were finally good on this one. He finally sings on this one. He's not screaming. He's actually using his vocal potential on this one and actually singing in the song. That's what caught me right away. Was the intro was good, but the intro is good on a lot of these. But then when he came in and started singing, I was like, wait, he's singing. He's not screaming. He's singing. Awesome. It's about Cthulhu. That's great.
How do you pronounce that?
Cthulhu. The stop I thought was really where they stopped in the middle. It was just a stop for a second, and then they kick in. I thought that was
like Sad but True.
Yeah, like Sad but True. A lot of references to other songs. Finally got a good solo out of this one. I actually like this solo. This is actually my favorite song on the entire disc. This one sounds and feels like Metallica to me. This is a song I would actually take off of this disc, download to my MP3 player, and actually put it in rotation with my other Metallica songs. I give this one a 9. This was
damn. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's go ahead and bring you back out of the stratosphere you're on, down to this next song.
Yeah.
Halo on Fire. My very first note is 8.5 fucking minutes long is my very first note. Okay. Again, this is a video song, and they're like in this like, I don't know, like the standard like gloomy garage, and they're out there playing with like, basic instruments, and they got this group of people around them, and the fucking group of people are the saddest human beings I've ever seen in my life. And they're supposed to be metalheads, but you can tell they're like just people they got off the streets and said, here's a Metallica shirt, you want to be in this video?
Yeah.
Here's $50 to stand around here and headbang for a couple hours, right? I mean, these fucking people were just sad, right? So one of them had a Avenged Sevenfold shirt on. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, right? I mean, I didn't like it. All right, so okay, there were some hot chicks in the video too, right? But like, here's the thing about like these things with this hardcore hot chick. She's got a rough life. If you look like that, your life is not rough. I'm sorry, but it's not. Okay? Even with guys that look like that, super attractive people, they have the easiest lives in the world. I'm sorry. They can just like, whenever they are hungry, they can just find somebody to buy them dinner. Like that. I've heard them talk. I've been on the periphery of their realm with these hot people. I've never been into it, but I've been around it, right? So yeah, I mean, it's hard for me, like when could be a model, for me to feel sorry for you. I mean, come on. That's like that, that show Two Broke Girls?
Models are people too.
Yeah, I got a real quick way they could become not two broke girls. It's called the strip club. You know? Then you would be relatively rich girls, I guess. All right, so moving on from that fucking diatribe, the weird guy in the hat that she like originally starts to fight looked to me like Tom Araya from the front because he had the Tom Araya beard going and the Tom Araya crazy eyes. And I was a fan of the two hot chicks fighting each other, especially when when you very first saw the hot chick, she was in her little cotton panties. And I'm not really talking about the song that much because it was fucking forgettable. But anyway, the one part when she gets knocked down on the ground, they didn't really leave much to the imagination as far as her anatomy goes.
Yeah.
With that white shirt she had on, she had sweated up. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. I give the song a 4.5.
All right. Yeah. Again, a recurring theme. It starts good, like most of the songs on here, and then it slows down. I couldn't finish this the first time I listened to it. I actually got about halfway through and I was nah, and then I had to come back and make myself listen to the rest of the song all the way through, so
That's
I could
never a
actually
good sign.
to actually write a review on it. This one, of all the songs on here, this one felt most like it would come off a load.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, it kind of did. Yeah.
It had that feel to it. Did not digging James's voice on this one. There's a decent rhythm part about 5 minutes in, but they stopped. Solo was okay. There was an outro jam, which is like they were just kind of jamming for a little while. And again, it was a long song.
I must have been in a coma by that time.
Right. Solid man. I rated this one a 5.
No, man. I think I was pretty low score there. All right. Yeah. So now we're going to stay down in the depths of shittiness here with this next song. Confusion.
I have mixed. My review's mixed on this one, but go ahead.
Mine are not mixed at all. Mine are definitely. Here's what I have on Confusion. Love the marching opening. Parentheses. Am I evil?
Yes.
And then otherwise sucked. That's the only notes I have on that.
Yeah. What's your score?
4.5.
Okay. Yeah, Am I Evil is what I have written first thing down with the intro. Okay, Am I Evil? All right, here's why my review on this one's mixed. The lyrics on this one, I found overall James's lyrics have improved on this album compared to previous efforts. When I say previous efforts, I mean Load, Reload,
Post Black album.
Right. His lyrics have improved. The lyrics on this particular song are probably the most poignant of the entire album. It's about PTSD.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember. Now it's coming back to me. You had the girl with the gun, and she was looking into the coffee cup and all that stuff. Okay.
Right. So the first solo or fill or whatever just lacked any emotion at all. Most of the music lacks emotion that's needed for this song. The whole song felt like they were just going through the paces.
See, well, here's the thing, though. Maybe that was intentional. Maybe they were trying to say that when you have PTSD, sometimes you're just going through
going through the paces. I don't think that's.
I don't think that played into it either. I was just trying. I don't think so.
But yeah. The main solo was more of the same. He's still laying on the wah pedal. It started to feel too long. This song lyrically, I would give an A. Music, I would give like a C-. This song needs emotion behind it. The music needed emotion behind it. This could have been another Unforgiven. You listen to Unforgiven and you can feel. Yeah. You can feel it when in the music. You can feel the emotion with the singing and the music. You can feel all of that. You can't feel anything with a song, and I don't think that was their intention behind it.
To be honest with you, even the way that the tone of the guitars in Unforgiven, you can feel the mood.
Right.
Because like even if I hadn't ever seen the video for Unforgiven, I would know that it would be in black and white just by the tone of the guitar.
And his solo in Unforgiven is not his most technical solo, but you can feel every note that he's playing. He really ripped into that one, and it's one of his better solos. This one the entire song just lacked any emotion that the song really needed to bring those lyrics out. The lyrics just get lost in going through the paces. And this song could have been so much more powerful had the music complemented what the lyrics were. So I rated it a 6.5 only because I liked the lyrics.
Well, that's when you're dragging the bottom of the bucket when you got a metal show and you're rating things based on liking the lyrics.
Right, yeah. The rest of the song would, aside from that, if this song had been about anything else with different lyrics, it would have been an even lower score than that. So,
all right, okay.
There's potential there. They just didn't tap into it.
All right, so moving on to Man Unkind. The instant I saw the name of this song, I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna fucking suck. And I was not wrong. So
I will say it was one of my favorite videos, though.
Yeah. So yeah, here's the thing. First off, you got the black metal guys, right? And they're coming out,
yeah.
and I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? So I was looking down in the comments, right? And it seemed like there were 3 working theories of what this was. Either it was Mayhem, the band, or it was Empire of the Sun, the band, or it was just a bunch of actors playing a black metal band.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure which is which because black metal guys, they tend to like blur into one another for me.
Well, I'm leaning more towards actors because it seemed like the entire video had a nostalgia back to the 80s, like you were watching. Because remember, they had a kid in the audience with like the old time video recorder.
Yep.
So like I think they meant it for it to be, oh, we're watching a concert from like 1984.
Right. Yeah. But okay, anyway, so yeah, who knows?
That's the video.
Yeah, right. The video. The opening riff I thought was pretty good, I guess. The tempo change in this one was very distracting. I mean, it was jarring. There was no like transition into it. It was just like whoa. So that fucking sucked. I said the opening riff was good. That's what I said. And then the solo seemed half-assed. Really did.
Yeah.
And I was definitely not impressed with the solo. I give this one a 5.
Yeah.
And probably 1 point of that's based on the video.
I know, right? Yeah, a bit of a Black Sabbath beat to it at one point. James is screaming again, which again just doesn't fit these songs. There was a decent change up at one point. The solo, again, Kirk's on the wah pedal. It was kind of all over the place. Didn't fit the song at all. This was definitely one of those where it sounded like you just grabbed a random solo and stuck it on a song,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The song felt a little long again. And again, the video was more entertaining than the song. I'm sure there was some serious potential in there somewhere, but there's a lot of recurring themes on here. Again, the potential got lost in the rest of the song. I rated it a 6, and again, probably 1 point for that is the video.
I liked when the drummer held up the cross or the drumsticks in the inverted cross.
Yeah.
And they had that pole with the pig's head on it.
The pig's head, yeah.
It reminded me of Lord of the Flies there a little bit. So yeah. All right. So that one fucking sucked. All right. So see again, Dreadwind's idea to do this. All right. Next up we have Here Comes Revenge.
We're doing this for the people.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. All right. Here Comes Revenge. First thing I have wrote down is children's book on heroin. That's what the video reminded me of. It reminded me of a children's book that happened to be on heroin, because he's got this guy.
Video was out there.
Yeah, and he was like a jackal or something.
Jackal, yeah, some sort of jackal guy.
And he was a jackal guy, and he kept like leering over this deer chick, and and they showed me inside of his house, and he's got like these hunting trophies, and underneath him he has dresses. Like, what the fuck kind of Ed Gein shit is this? Right? Yeah. So, I don't know, man. That was a little bit bizarre for me. I mean, I guess it makes an artistic statement, but fuck. All right. Sounds like it could have been plucked straight out of Death Magnetic. I have that written down again on this one. And then my last note that I have, utterly forgettable.
Yeah.
5.0.
Okay. Another cool intro. Still not crazy about the vocals. Part of the riff kind of sounded like Shortest Straw. Did you even?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Decent rhythm. Solo was pretty okay. Not bad. Common themes. Video more interesting than the song. Those are my notes. The video was way more. This was one of those songs I had to. By the time I got done watching it the first time, I realized I didn't even listen to the song. I was just watching the video, and the song was like elevator music behind
Yep.
there.
Yep.
So I had to go back, and when I went back, I listened to it and actually listened to the song with no video, and I got a little bit better feel for it after that. I gave it a little bit higher score than I would have originally. Probably a 6.5 was my final score on this one.
Pretty generous.
Yeah, it again. If you're watching the video, you're not gonna hear the song at all.
Yeah, that was my problem. I fucking totally lost the song.
That's why I went back and did it a second time with no video, and then just based on the merits of the song itself, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was originally. So,
yeah. Well, I procrastinated until like a couple hours ago, so I couldn't really do that. So. All right, and none of that is like I'm not going to subject myself to that kind of torture.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, I didn't. The other thing too was I didn't want to just go through and just do a once over listen, and then oh well, you just didn't give it enough time to actually sit down and listen to the song and let it sink in. So no, I did do that. I listened to all of these at least twice. So
that's a trooper right there.
Hey,
you get the trooper award for the day.
There you go. Yeah, I wanted to give as honest. If this can save one person from going out and buying this album, it will be worth it.
$12.99. Chalk it up to Dreadman. All right. The next song, Am I Savage? Right? And again, as soon as I saw the name of this song, I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna fucking suck, right? So, because I thought, okay, it's like the internet version of Am I Evil is what I thought this was gonna be. Because I guess when you say something like totally without reservation, they say savage on the internet now.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Yeah,
I'm not hip with the new lingo.
I only pick up shit from Ledoux when I can. So that's where I learn half my shit, right? So anyway, here's the bluesy opening. I thought was pretty good. It had a bluesy type opening, and the first part of it reminded me of Corrosion of Conformity a little bit. In this song. Right.
I was gonna say it had a Sabbath feel to it, but
and then
you can interchange Sabbath and COC pretty well.
And then they just dropped that part. And to me, it sounded like the whole song was kind of patched together. The crunchy part at around 420 was pretty good. The solo was pretty good in this, I thought. And just based on the COC type opening and the decent solo. And the crunchy part, I gave it a 6.0.
Okay. Yeah.
And one more thing I want to say is right underneath the title I have written down here in my notes, I have a little stick figure of me hanging myself. So.
Yeah, the slow intro. This one of all the songs, this one had the most Sabbath feel to it. I thought I didn't care for the pre-chorus section. That felt like you said, kind of chopped up the song a little bit. The part where it just kind of changed right before he kicks into the actual chorus. I thought they could have just taken that out and just thrown it in the trash, and it would have been a better song without it. This was one of his cleaner solos, one of the better ones. I gave this one a 7. It was, I guess, comparatively speaking, I was reaching for something decent, and this was one of the better songs on this particular album.
You're reaching for a life preserver to see a shit. All right. So moving on to the next song, Murder One. All right. The soft/hard guitar part in the beginning I thought was pretty good, pretty awesome. It went from like they would play like a soft part and then a hard part and then a soft part. It was almost like a porn set there for a minute. The animation I thought was awesome, and I'm like getting to the story of this animation, and I'm just totally ignoring the song again.
Yep. Same here.
So all right, and I noticed like this is what I thought was fucking amazing. And I just said it, fucking amazing about this song. Is they go on to the whole song has got Lemmy all over the place, which is got
the video has Lemmy all over the place.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. The video has Lemmy all over the place, and it's got like a bunch of history of Lemmy. But what I thought was like awesome is they like zoomed in on the amp right? And they turned it up to 12. So they skipped 11 and went to 12.
Went straight to 12. I saw that.
They outdid Spinal Tap, right?
They out Spinal Tap.
Right. So there's one part in the video where they're bombing the various religions and various culture, which I thought was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
Because they bomb like a mosque and a I mean, not like funny, like I want to see somebody bomb a church. Fuck off, all right? I'm just saying that like they're just kind of like artistically saying that Lemmy wasn't exactly the most religious person in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And he also didn't like pop culture, apparently, by them bombing Hollywood.
Yeah.
So the solo I thought was very good in this song. And just because this number I'm going to give it is probably mostly because it had cartoons about Lemmy. I give it a 7.
Okay. Yeah, I put about Lemmy with a question mark because the lyrics don't match the video at all. If you go back and like you're watching the video and it's like, oh, cool, the song's about Lemmy. But then, like you, the first time I watched it, I'm reading the little subtitles and reading the story along and just completely ignoring the song. So I had to go back and listen to it a second time with no video, and just listening to the song itself, I don't get where the video was. I don't get how that matches the video because it doesn't.
I think they just happened to have a video that was X minutes long, so it's like, hey, this song's pretty close. Throw it on that one.
Yeah, we'll just stick that one on there. James is still screaming instead of singing. The solo I didn't really care for, to be honest with you, because again, it felt like it was all over the place. It didn't fit the song to me. The song felt repetitive. It felt long. It was largely forgettable. No real hooks or anything. When your video needs subtitles to tell the story, then your song's not doing a very good job of telling the story.
That's it.
I give this one a 6, and that's being generous.
All right. All right, now on to the final question mark song of the album, because I didn't know this, but Dreadwind says that there's an extra song, but I didn't feel like 7 more minutes of fucking nuts in a vice.
Yeah.
So, actually, that's not even the real reason. The real reason is because I didn't realize there was another one. Anyway, Spit Out the Bone is what this one's called, which that's have some pretty obvious double entendres there.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I wrote down is the opening guitar and drums equal fuck yes.
Yes.
It almost sounded like an upgraded 2016 Whiplash for a second.
Mm-hmm.
What I thought.
Yeah,
then,
the main rhythm was very thrash on this one,
which
more
I love, and that's why I scored this the best out of any song on the album. I scored it a 7.5 because that's all I really have. Because there's nothing else really memorable about it, and I gave it a 7.5. Dreadwind, your thoughts?
Yeah, the fast intro was very thrash like. I like that. I thought it kind of sounded like they were trying to be Megadeth in this one. I don't know if you picked that one up.
Yeah, maybe kind of.
Yeah, but referencing back to Whiplash, that would have been Dave Mustaine days, so it makes sense. James is screaming again. There's a cool breakdown at one point, and there's a decent little bass lick. You don't really hear the bass much in this album. I know he's there, but
you're right. I was gonna mention that earlier. Forgot to.
Yeah,
Robert
Trujillo, something like that. Yeah,
I don't fucking know how to pronounce Spanish words.
Yeah. There's a couple more Megadeth style licks in there. Oh look, Kirk's on the wah pedal again. That's sarcasm.
Isn't the wah pedal like something you manipulate with your hand?
Your foot, the wah pedal. You're thinking the whammy bar. The whammy bar is the bar on the guitar that he uses once in the entire album.
I gotcha.
The wah pedal is a pedal on the floor that you operate with your foot that he can't get his foot off of for some reason.
Okay, I was confusing the two. Again, not a big guitar guy.
He uses it on virtually every song on this album.
So wait a minute, what's that thing that Jason uses like when on the live?
That's a wah pedal.
When he goes up there and like makes it wow. Yeah. That's wah pedal.
When he talks?
Yeah, when he makes it kind of like a whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's using a wah pedal with distortion on that. That's for usually they use that on the intro to From the Bell Tolls.
Yeah.
Okay. But see, he only uses it the one time, unlike Kirk, who's on it every song.
Okay.
Anyway, there's a the I don't know what this was. Fast rhythm behind. Oh yeah, that's what it was. There's a fast rhythm behind a slow solo that kind of like again the solo didn't seem to fit.
Yeah, usually it's the opposite, right?
Yeah, he needs to rip on this one. This is one of the songs that he needs to just rip out the solo on, and he doesn't. He's got this kind of this slow, lingering solo, and behind it, everybody's going da 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 da. You know, and they're in fifth gear, and he's in second gear. Slow down. I don't know what that is. Starts to feel long. Not bad. The second solo, he actually rips on. So the first solo was the junk one. The second solo in the song, though, he actually rips out on it, and that might actually be his best solo on the entire album. Was the second solo in the song.
That's pretty low bar, though.
True. Overall, I gave this one a 7. It's not a bad song. One of the better ones on this particular album.
All right, so what would you give the entire album?
My entire album review, I would give it overall. It's not a bad effort. It's their best album that they've released in the last 20 years. But when you compare what they've released in the last 20 years, that's not really saying much. Because you're talking about Load, Reload, Saint Anger, Death Magnetic, one that shall not be named. It's better than those, but it's not going to be better than the other ones. It's not a bad effort. It just nothing stands out. It's very largely a meh. And I was trying to explain it to my son the other day, and he came up with the perfect analogy. It's like spaghetti without the sauce.
That's pretty good.
You know, it's just noodles, and there's nothing wrong with noodles, but it's not spaghetti. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
James's lyrics have improved mostly over this album. Kirk is Kirk. You know, Lars is Lars. There's potential in almost every song, but it just gets lost in the shuffle. And the majority of the album, with just a couple of exceptions, feels very forgettable. Most of the videos are more memorable than the songs. Overall, I rated a 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah, spaghetti without the sauce. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same place where you're at. All the songs like seem forgettable to me. They're like nothing that they're gonna be like a big anthem in a fucking crowded stadium where people are gonna be chanting. They're nothing that like I'm gonna listen to. Like I probably listen to Master of Puppets front to back 100 times easily.
Right.
No way I'm gonna do that.
And that's what I was gonna say too. Those first 5 albums, I can put any of those 5 albums on, hit play, and not skip a single song.
Right.
Let it play all the way through.
But yeah, so
after the Black Album, I can't do that, and this was one of them. You can't do that with this one.
So this one, I give it a 6. I mean, it's a D for me. So that's what I give it. I give it a 6.
I'm going to go ahead and mention Megadeth here because they always get compared to Megadeth. The new Megadeth album is head and shoulders above this one. The guitar work is far superior on the new Megadeth album than it is on this one. The guitar work that's one of my major gripes with this one is even by Kirk standards. I'm not expecting Joe Satriani. It's Kirk Hammett, but even by his standards, most of these solos are just
that was a weird comparison for a couple of reasons.
Well, he actually took lessons from Joe Satriani.
That's why it's a weird comparison for a couple of reasons.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I'm not expecting Joe Satriani on this album. I'm just expecting good Kirk Hammett, like Master of Puppets, like Justice for All. Even Black Album. This is not that. This is just a lot of these solos are just junk that was just thrown on the song just to have a solo on there. Listen to the new Megadeth album, and the guitars will pick any of the songs, any of the solos off of any of the songs from the new Megadeth album will blow any of these ones away. Yeah.
That doesn't shock me.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to move on to the last segment of the show where we talk about concert stories. And I want to talk about a particular Ozfest. And I don't know if everybody's familiar with Ozfest, but was this big festival that Ozzy put together. It's Sharon Osbourne put
How
together.
can you not be familiar with Ozfest at this point?
Good question. But, some people maybe not. But so, anyway.
Oh, that's the Avenged Sevenfold fans. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go. The people who are like, my dying bride is great. All right. So, so this Ozfest, I go in there, and the very first thing, there's these people handing out Slim Jims at the door. I'm like, what the fuck is this about? So they hand me a Slim Jim. They're like, Ozzy's not going to be here. Sorry from Sharon and Ozzy. Like, what the fuck?
Ozfest with no Ozzy?
Yeah, so I got a Slim Jim instead of Ozzy. That's what I got. Right. So I get in there, and I'm like, okay, so there's some other bands that I wanted to see, whatever, right? So I'm up there watching you. And at one point, Primus or the Flying Toad Brigade or whatever the fuck his other band's called, Les Claypool.
I know Les Claypool, and I know Primus. I don't know any of his side projects.
Yeah, he's got like one called like the Frog Brigade or some shit. But anyway, it was one of those two, and he's up there. And I just thought it was funny that he was in a pair of combat fatigues, a pair of combat boots, no shirt, and he had a military helmet, except it was painted silver, and that was what he was playing in the whole time. I thought that was pretty amusing. Do
you know Les Claypool auditioned for Metallica?
I did know that. And then, they're actually pretty entertaining as a band. I'm not so much into their music, but I thought their antics were pretty funny. And then at one point, Les Claypool goes, you know what? Fuck all you people up here in the front who are sitting down or have your hands crossed up here in the shade. Fuck all you people. This song goes out there to that guy with the bird flying. Then I guess the guy he pointed out, he put up his other hand, he goes, with two birds flying. Well, I thought that was pretty funny. But anyway, the best part about this particular Ozfest is people at some point got restless because there was going to be no Ozzy. Which I guess maybe they forgot from when they were told when they came in, but they started picking up the sod. And I'm not talking about some of the sod, I'm talking about all of the sod. And this happened at Germain Amphitheater, which no longer exists anymore, but they picked up like every bit of sod in the grass area. Because the way Germain Amphitheater is, it's an amphitheater, and then behind that you have like a slope bit of grass, and you could have grass seats if you wanted. They called it lawn seats. But anyway, they picked up like all of the sod and hurled all of it down on the stage and down on the front part. Right? I mean, just like, it was just pandemonium. And one of the bands, which I forget, I think it might have been Drowning Pool, which this had the original singer from Drowning Pool before he died. And they actually played a cover of, I think it was either For Whom the Bell Tolls or Creeping Death in this concert. But anyway, they kept throwing the sod up there, and one of the band's lead singers go, hey, they told us that we have to stop the concert if you guys keep throwing sod, which made them just throw more sod.
Right.
But the best part about it was, and this is where I'll bring this long epic tale of randomness to an end, is when everybody was leaving, they had like all the people from the Germain Amphitheater, which is like holds like 40,000 people. They had them all filtered through this little one little section, and it was like 12 foot wide. So shockingly, it was taking forever for people to get out. Mm-hmm. So, being metalheads, they decided to take it upon themselves to just tear down all the fence. So they tore, there was a big privacy fence that went around. They just fucking ripped huge sections of it down and just knocked it down, and everybody just started streaming out that way. And then it was chaos in the parking lot. So they destroyed, and this was probably a year before they got actually destroyed. They destroyed the fuck out of that venue, which I thought was pretty amusing. That's my concert story for the week.
Wow. Mine's not nearly as amusing as that. I went to a Black Label Society concert. BLS, so Zach Wilde on guitar. Now, I've been to my fair share of concerts, okay? And I've been up in the front row. I've been standing right next to the speakers for many concerts. This was by far, okay, first of all, it was Dope was the first band that played. And then Seven Dust played after them, and then Black Label Society came on.
Are you a Seven Dust fan?
I could take them or leave them.
I'm kind of not a Seven Dust fan. Go ahead.
Yeah. So they put on a decent show. I don't really know any of their songs. I think I know maybe one or two. But anyway.
Don't they have one called Mud Shovel?
I think that's a different band.
Yeah, you may be right. But anyway, I was going to say, whenever I hear that song Mud Shovel, I always say they're saying Stovelcore, which is the Klingon place you go, like Valhalla.
Stovelcore?
Stovelcore. When Klingons die in battle, they go to Stovelcore. All right, that was way off the topic. Go ahead. Sorry.
Way off topic. All right, so Klingons aside, the show was good. Then Black Label Society gets on. and they were so freaking loud. I'm a fan of Black Label Society. I know, like, I would say a good 85% of their songs I can pick out just from hearing them, right?
Yeah.
They got on, I could not tell what the song was until he got to the chorus and he actually started singing the chorus, because it was just like a wall of white noise. That's how loud it was. And I eventually had to, I wasn't too close to the stage, but I was in the same spot I was for the other two bands, and they sounded fine. I could hear them perfectly well. And then Zach gets up and everything's cranked up to 12, right?
To 12.
And it was just a wall of noise. And I actually left my spot, went all the way to the back of the club, like in the middle, and I could finally hear it halfway decent. And it was still just super loud. It was one of the loudest. It was not one of. It was the loudest concert I've ever been to, because it was too loud because you couldn't hear what the songs were.
Yeah, in a similar vein, I saw Black Label Society in Ozfest one time. And
I saw them at Ozfest too. They sounded much better there.
Yeah, when I saw them at Ozfest, they had like the normal venue speakers, and then they had the Ozfest speakers. And in the Black Label Society, when they came out, they dragged out like two from either side, two big huge things of Marshall amps. Like, yeah. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, he plays loud. Yeah.
Obviously, he plays amazingly.
They sounded. He's an amazing guitar player, and they sounded great at Ozfest. But this was like their own show, so I guess they were able to put as much as they wanted on there, and their sound guy had it cranked, and it was just so loud. And I had people tell me, "Oh, you just haven't been to a concert in a while. You just didn't realize how loud concerts were." No, this was on a whole other level.
All right. Well, that wraps up our concert talk, and that wraps up our review of Death Magnetic. Thanks to Dreadwind again for that one.
Death Magnetic.
Yeah, fucking 6 of one, half dozen of the other, right? Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Sorry, I didn't mean to call fuck it. I can't even think of a good analogy of two things that are very similar but have different names. Fuck it. It just drained the life out of me. So anyway, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening, and fucking horns up forever. Next week we're going to do some cover songs, and hopefully that'll be a little bit brighter spot in the universe than this song was. So that's me signing off. Dreadwind.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're a fan of Megadeth, go buy the new Megadeth album. If you're not a fan of Megadeth, it probably won't do anything to change your mind. But
all right.
That has nothing to do with this review.
It's like way off.
Trying to add something positive to that.
All right. Well, fuck horns up, motherfuckers.